If you want to enhance your mobility, feel younger, and reduce the risk of injuries, then this video is for you. I'm going to show you 5 stretches you can do every day to improve your range of motion, reduce tightness, and boost performance. Plus, stick around for a dynamic bonus stretch at the end. Something many people deal with, probably without even realizing it, is a lack of thoracic rotation. Your thoracic spine is the long section between your neck and lower back. Spine windmills specifically target the thoracic spine as well as the shoulders. This stretch helps loosen the spinal vertebrae, promoting better posture and reducing the risk of back pain and injuries from rotational movements. It can also improve overall spine alignment and help alleviate stiffness, especially if you tend to sit for long periods. If this sounds like something you need, make sure to stick around for that bonus stretch later in the video that also hits the thoracic spine. To perform spine windmills, lie on your side with your knees bent at a 90-degree angle and stacked on top of each other. Extend your arms straight out in front of you, palms together. Then slowly open up that top arm, rotating your body while keeping your knees together and in place. Continue to rotate until your arm reaches as far as you can comfortably go. Hold this stretch position and remember to breathe. Finally, slowly return to the starting position and repeat on the other side. There are a few common mistakes to avoid when doing spine windmills. First, make sure you keep your knees together. Allowing your knees to separate reduces the effectiveness of the stretch. Also, don't over-rotate your spine. You'll risk straining your back, especially if you're not used to the stretch. Always move within your comfortable range of motion. I'll be showing you a great stretch that you can do from a resting seated position coming up, but don't get too excited because it's not as easy as it looks. For now, let's get into our next stretch. When you want a deep stretch for your entire core, the side bend is a fantastic movement that's simple and fast. Side bends target your oblique muscles, which are the muscles between your ribs and your lats. This stretch also hits the quadratus lumborum, or QL. It's the deepest muscle in your abdomen, and some people consider it a back muscle. The QL muscle tends to become tight in many people, which can be one of the biggest contributors to a lot of people's back pain. So, the side bend is a particularly useful stretch if you're dealing with pain. Side bends promote a greater range of motion in the spine, which is essential for movements that require side-to-side bending or rotation. This stretch also improves lateral flexibility and can help alleviate tightness along the sides of your body. To perform side bends, stand with your feet shoulder-width apart and raise your right arm overhead while placing your left hand on your hip. Then slowly lean to your left, stretching your right side. Hold this position, feeling the stretch along your right side. Then go ahead and do it on the other side too. Later in the video, I'll explain exactly how long to hold each stretch and how often you should be doing these movements for maximum results. When doing side bends, avoid tilting forward or backward. Bend directly to the side to avoid straining your lower back. In addition, avoid overextending your back or arching your shoulders. It's also important to keep both your feet on the ground. Picking up your foot as you lean throws off your balance and reduces the effectiveness of the stretch. It's crucial that you don't force the bend beyond your comfort zone, as this can lead to muscle strain. The doorway pec stretch is one of the best ways to really open up your chest and stretch the front deltoid muscles in your shoulders. It's a stretch you can do wherever there's a doorway, whether you're at home, in the office, at a hotel, or even during a quick bathroom trip at a restaurant or bar. This stretch helps to counteract the effects of prolonged sitting and poor posture, which often leads to tight chest muscles and rounded shoulders. By stretching these muscles, you can improve your flexibility, enhance posture, and reduce the risk of developing imbalances. Breathing is important for everyone, but if you're an athlete, swimmer, public speaker, or singer, the doorway pec stretch has a bonus benefit. By opening up the chest, this stretch promotes deeper and more effective breathing. To do this stretch, stand in a doorway that's narrow enough to place your forearms on each side of the door frame. Keep your elbows at your shoulder height and bend them 90 degrees. Then gently step 1 foot forward until you feel a stretch across your chest and shoulders. Keep your body upright and your core engaged as you hold the stretch. If you're getting value from this video so far, be sure to smash that thumbs up button below. It's an easy way to support the channel. One of the most common mistakes people make is arching their lower back when they're doing this stretch. It's important to maintain a neutral spine by engaging your core so that you don't place excessive stress on your lower back. You also want to make sure you're not shrugging your shoulders. Keep them down and relax to focus the stretch on the chest. As always, avoid pushing too far into the stretch. Listen to your body to avoid strain or discomfort in your shoulder joints. Resting sounds easy, right? But the resting squat is a bit of a challenge, especially for beginners. It's an important mobility and stability stretch that will challenge your range of motion, balance, and coordination. The resting squat stretches your legs, glutes, and back. It's particularly beneficial for enhancing hip mobility, improving ankle flexibility, and strengthening your lower body. By forcing you to hold a deep squat position, it stretches your lower back and can aid in decompressing the spine. The resting squat can improve overall balance, posture, and can serve as a corrective exercise for people who spend too much of their time sitting. If you want to learn more about the resting squat and how it benefits your body, we actually did an entire video on it if you want to check that out. I'll leave the link down in the description below. While this is a great pre-workout stretch, you can do it anytime. To correctly perform resting squats, start by standing with your feet slightly wider than shoulder width apart. Point your toes slightly outward and bend your knees and hips to lower your body into a deep squat position, keeping your heels on the ground. Rest in this squat position with your elbows inside your knees, using your elbows to gently push your knees outward. To help with balancing, you can adjust your stance based on your height and body shape. Hold the position, ensuring you keep your back straight, chest lifted, and body balanced. Then slowly stand back up, engaging your core and leg muscles. When doing resting squats, avoid lifting your heels off the ground. Keeping your feet flat on the ground maximizes the stretch in your calves and ankles. It can help at first to use something sturdy in front of you to hold onto while performing the stretch. Also, don't round your back or you'll place unnecessary strain on your lower spine. And don't let your knees cave in. Use your elbows to keep your knees aligned with your toes to protect your knees and enhance the stretch. Your lats are probably one of the most understretched muscles, but you can fix that with one extremely effective stretch. And all you need is a chair, bench, or even your bed. The kneeling lat stretch targets the latissimus dorsi, the large muscles that run down either side of your back. Stretching these muscles helps improve your upper body flexibility, enhances shoulder mobility, and contributes to better posture. This stretch is particularly useful if you do activities that require overhead movements, such as swimming, climbing, or weightlifting. By maintaining flexible lats, you can prevent shoulder injuries and enhance the range of motion necessary for various physical activities. To do this lat stretch, kneel next to your chair or another waist-high surface. Rest both elbows on the edge of the chair, then lean forward as if you're going to touch your forehead to the chair. Keep leaning your head and chest towards the floor, feeling the stretch in your lats. With this stretch, be careful not to overdo it. Because you're using your body weight as you lean, it's important to move slowly and stop before you feel pain or risk straining your lats. As you're doing the stretch, keep a neutral spine and neck, and remember to breathe. Do you remember that bonus exercise that I promised you earlier? This dynamic exercise is called threading the needle, and it's personally one of my favorites that I do on the daily to stay loose. This exercise targets your shoulders, back, and neck. It involves twisting at the waist and stretching your arms, so you'll feel a good stretch throughout your body. Threading the needle is a great exercise for back tightness, and it's fantastic for improving upper back mobility. Remember the spine windmills from earlier? This is a great stretch to pair with that movement or to swap in if you want to vary up your stretching routine. You'll also help counteract shoulder tightness by doing this stretch regularly. To do the thread the needle, start on your hands and knees. Position your hips over your knees and bend your knees at 90-degree angles. Keep your arms straight and your shoulders over your hands so that your back is flat. Then reach straight up with your left hand and follow your hand with your eyes so that you open up your chest and abdomen as you look. Keep the rest of your body stable. Stretch your left hand toward the ceiling. Next, slowly bring your hand back down and thread it under your chest, resting the back of your hand and arm on the mat. Twist your body as you reach towards the side of the room. You can let your head touch the ground as you reach. Then repeat the movement by reaching upward again with your left hand. After several reps, do the same with the other hand. Make sure you don't arch your back or let it sag as you do this movement. Keep your core engaged and your legs still. Focus on slow movements and really reach with your hand to feel the stretch in both directions. Stretching is a marathon, not a sprint. I'm sure you're wondering how long and how often you should be doing these stretches. For lasting results, it's all about consistency and dedication. So try to set aside 10 to 15 minutes every day to do these stretches. For each stretch, you'll want to hold this position for 20 to 30 seconds or longer if you're more advanced. Do each stretch 2 to 3 times per session, and remember to switch sides for the one-sided stretches. And last, don't forget to share this video with a friend that you think would also benefit from these stretches.